Hello, this is Merrill Jencks with the Big Helper Real Estate Group coming at you with your monthly housing market update specific to the neighborhood of Seville in Gilbert, Arizona. So, if you live in or near Seville, I hope you'll find this information really helpful to give you an idea of what is going on with the market, what we expect to see in the coming months, and what's happening with house values, what's currently available for sale, all that jazz. So I am going to share my screen with you all here so that you can see what I'm seeing, and we're just going to dive in and talk about the numbers. So first off, I wanted to pull up. This is a site that Freddie Mac provides that gives us an idea of kind of what the average rates are for mortgages in the United States. And a 30-year fixed rate mortgage right now is at 3.55%, which, as you can see, compared to the previous year, is a very dramatic hike. Combine that with everything else that we're seeing in the economy, high inflation, and also home prices that have risen around 25% over the past year. There's a lot of concern around affordability. And I think there's a lot of, national media narratives and even local media narratives that are talking about the housing market slowing down because of, these rising interest rates. But I can tell you for sure that so far we are not seeing that at all. In fact, we're definitely seeing the opposite, and I'm going to dive into those numbers. But let's just put the rate into perspective for a second. I know a lot of you know this already, but if you zoom out and look at the 3-year history, we're still, back to where rates were roughly in, mid to early 2020, and significantly lower than they were in 2019 and 2018. Zoom out a little more to the 5-year or the 10-year, you'll be able to see that. And from since 2012, really since 2011, we have been in a seller's market. I mean, obviously prices were much cheaper in 2011, but we've been in a situation with declining inventory and rising prices in the Phoenix metro area since 2011. And so the 3.55 rate is near the lowest that it has been over the past 10 years. And so it's still a great rate, historically speaking. And it's still pretty affordable. Obviously it's getting tougher on first time home buyers and that kind of thing, but I don't think that we're particularly Seville is not necessarily your average first time home buyer neighborhood. So the other thing is that compared to the other big cities, I always look at Phoenix. So yeah, it feels like it's getting quite expensive, but compare us to pretty much anywhere in California and Washington and Oregon and Denver and some of the other big cities on this side of the country, even Salt Lake City and Austin, Texas, and some of these other places. It's still cheaper than pretty much all those places. So right now, we have a total of 3 active listings in Seville. This first one here on Ridgewood actually just hit the market today. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2370 square feet, going for 642,000. 2 other active listings on the market for 980, and then the Home on Sports, which just recently came back on the market for 1.6. So that is it. That is the of all of Seville and the thousands of homes in Seville. There are only 3 homes that are actually actively available for someone to buy. Now, there are a lot more that are pending. So if we take a look at all the pending listings, there's actually 20 pending listings in Seville, ranging from 360 all the way up to 1.6 million. And I do want to point out, I'm going to show you a statistical. This report's not very easy to read, but you're going to understand this in a second. The list price. Now, on pending listings, we don't know what they're actually under contract for until they close. But I can tell you the average price of all these homes that are currently under contract, the average list price is 732,000. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. All right. And then lastly, we're going to look at everything that has closed in the neighborhood in the past 30 days. We've had 9 closings in the neighborhood in the past 30 days. This home here on Powell was the cheapest. It went for 456,000. And this home here on Rubin was the most expensive for 1.65 million. Now, with the exception of the Rubin house, you'll see that everything else was 611 and under. Which, when we look at the current average price of all the under contract and pending listings is 732. When I look at the average price of these homes that have sold in the past 30 days, the average price was only 616,000. I think it's kind of a small sample size. I think it sort of has to do with not a ton of homes closing in the month of January. And so I don't think it's really reflective of the average home value in Seville. But that is what it is right now. The average price, again, for the homes that have sold in the past 30 days is 631,000. I'm sorry, I think I said 616 earlier. I messed up on that. It is 631. The average days on market is 27 days. So I hope you found this information helpful and a little bit educational. Maybe you've seen a few homes on here that look like they might be your floor plan. If you would be interested in receiving a analysis regarding the value of your home, I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to put together CMAs for people. I'll run the comps and I'll let you know what I think a buyer would be willing to pay for your home in this crazy market. Even if you have no intention of selling, it's a service that I love to provide for our neighbors. So thank you very much. And I hope you all have a great month, and I'll see you again in a couple weeks.